Sometimes, trying to prove that you are the best is an insult. Yes, you heard me. In fact, you don't have to prove that you are the best. You just have to keep doing your thing and keep getting better at what you do. Before I begin, let me start off by saying that I am not shit talking about men on my podcast. I knew that my content was not meant for everyone, particularly those men who love to ask what women bring to the table when they can't offer anything substantial. Come on, guys, if the shoe fits, feel free to put it on. So let me say this again. Men are great, men are amazing providers and protectors, men are necessary for the human evolution. But what I will never agree with is having a dusty boyfriend who doesn't add value into your life and requires you to compromise your standards just to keep him. If my content feels like a personal attack to you, it must have meant that I'm doing something right. It's so funny how it's always the minority of men who leave nasty comments, especially when I spoke against women going for walks in the park, you're not a dog, and coffee dates. That just screams low effort. As always, do what you want with this information. Let's get right into it. Most women that I know have a strong desire for male validation, so they often compete for male attention. And I get it. Let's be real. Feeling wanted by men feels great in the moment because it flatters your ego, but it actually doesn't empower you in any way. Babe, you are worth so much more than a man's opinion. Apparently, it has become a concern to me that I still have girlfriends suffering from this, so that's exactly why I want to film this episode. Once you truly understand the male psychology, I can assure you that you will stop struggling for male validation. Let's start with the basics. I believe that some of you desire for male validation because, let's be honest, you really want a boyfriend. That's a sign to start focusing on getting one for yourself. It shouldn't be coming from a place of lack, but a place of abundance, because you're already whole. Sign up for dating apps if that's your thing, and also be more proactive in going to social events where you're likely to meet quality guys who are interested in things you may be interested in that would be helpful. Of course, the most effective way to attract a man is to become the best version of yourself. Nothing in the world can top that. Secondly, you want to feel lovable. Consider that maybe it's not just romantic love you're seeking, but love in general. In this case, yes, trying to get a boyfriend definitely isn't a bad idea, but you can also focus on investing in your platonic friendships too. Surprise them with meaningful gifts, ask them out for dinner, pick a ball, or anything that's fun and interests you. However, it's also worth considering why you have trouble seeing yourself as lovable in the first place. Perhaps your parents were always critical of you, or you could have been bullied when you were young, so you don't think people can love you for who you are. Also, you may consider going to therapy to figure this out. There's no shame in seeking for help. Lastly, you think your self-worth is defined based on how desirable you are to men. In this case, it's worth focusing on building up your self-esteem in other parts of your life so it serves as a reminder that you have plenty of other sources to validate yourself. Basically, you need to spice up your life if you find that it's boring. It can be anything from expanding your skills, developing your talents, or racking up a few achievements you're proud of in areas of your life that you care about. Your career, your hobbies, fitness, travel, volunteering in a charity organization or community work, you name it. Listen up. What if I told you that a man giving you attention means nothing? He could be texting you every day, he could be liking your stories on Instagram, he could be calling you every week, but still has zero intention to commit to you. Unfortunately, the reason why he's giving you the bare minimum may be because he's busy doing that to every other girl in his roster and you are in it. He may be physically attracted to you, but it's not enough to make him want to commit. Okay, you may not want to hear this, but a man giving you attention without investing his time, money, and energy to plan dates with you is useless. A man who is dead serious about commitment will take actions to prove his intention. Let me say this again. If a man really likes you and wants to be with you, he will make his intention known by taking you out on proper dates. Otherwise, you are just wasting your time and energy. Him texting you, calling you, and liking your Instagram are just breadcrumbs if he does not take you out on dates consistently. By the way, you can't manipulate anyone who isn't desperate to be liked. If you think about it, the only way you can be manipulated is when you are needing their validation like oxygen, something you can't live without. Mind you, decentering men is not the same as denying yourself love. Don't get it mixed up though. What I'm saying is, decentering man from your life means you prioritize your own peace, your own happiness, and your own growth, that you have no space for bare minimum. You're willing to walk away when you're not being treated with respect. Here's a funny story that may blow your mind. I have a girlfriend who called me out one night at 1 a.m. crying to me about how her other girlfriend was dating the same man that she was going out with, and he was aware that they are friends. This is not even the most shocking part. Do you know what's the most absurd thing about this drama? The other girl told her that she was willing to fight with her over that dude. I was like, are you being serious right now? That's not a girl's girl, and if it was me, I would drop both of them in a heartbeat, especially that loser. After all, he's just not worth my time, my energy, or my attention. If a woman has to earn a spot in a man's life, he doesn't love her at all, and she sacrificed her soul to someone who doesn't value her. If that's not being delusional, I don't know what is. Here's something you should know. When you chase for male validation, you may feel the need to explain every choice or every decision you make because you are trying too hard to be understood. You may also find yourself checking out their Instagram story every single time within seconds, or you may text just checking in when you didn't get a reply from him. It sounds casual, but it's giving anxiety and low-key obsessed. I'm sure we have seen countless of women flexing how low maintenance they are, like as if it's a badge of honor. Not only would they entertain coffee dates on Netflix and chill, they would say things like, "Oh, I don't need gifts. I'm not like the other girls who expect things." Come on, what are you trying to prove? Basically, you're screaming for men to pick you over the other women. Plus, you just insulted your own gender that seems special, and that's not unique. It's giving insecure vibes. Besides, having standards are not a bad thing. Trying to be the least demanding woman in the room is not a flex. It's emotional poverty. What's worse is trying to prove that you are chill by tolerating bad behavior. If he decides to ghost you, you overthink your entire existence. Letting people cross your boundaries just to appear easygoing is not chill, it's giving desperate. In some cases, you may even overextend yourself by offering help just to earn their approval. But real, genuine support is powerful when it's intentional, not when it's automatic. On top of that, copying their interests to fit in, just to stay relevant, is the ultimate peak of chasing validation. You may also pretend to hate things you actually enjoy just because they don't like it. There's another common phenomenon where you may find yourself overperforming girlfriend energy with no effort and no title, making men your whole personality and always talking about what he wants, what he likes, and what he thinks. But have you ever asked yourself, when do you exist? Stop living your life for men while betraying yourself in the name of love. All I'm saying is, if you don't learn how to be comfortable alone, you will choose anyone just to avoid loneliness, avoid rejection, or avoid facing yourself. And these choices can cost you your whole life because nothing in this world has a bigger impact over us than the people we spend the most time with. Quite some time ago, my guy friends jokingly said that I'll end up being alone and miserable because my standards are too high. Guess what? I just laugh it off. Obviously, I didn't take that personally because I genuinely don't care what others think of me. And that's what sets me apart. It's surprising to me how one of my girlfriends got really defensive and she felt insulted by the comment. Honestly, if you think about it, they are just projecting their fears and insecurities onto women, and that tells me everything I need to know. Like I have said in my first few episodes, most men are deeply afraid of being single. In fact, they struggle to be on their own, constantly filling every moment with noise, distractions, or busyness, and needing other women's attention to validate their worth. They don't do very well with silence either because it feels terrifying to sit in the discomfort and confront their own demons. Trust me, I grew up with a significant amount of male friends as compared to female friends, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. And for centuries, men have to compete for women's love and attention. But in the last decade or so, the patriarchy decided to flip the script and condition women to do the chasing. Now that most women are not just settling down with the first man who asks to marry them, we are labeled as being difficult. More often than not, we are actually asking ourselves, do I actually like this man and what he provides to the relationship? Instead of staying in unhealthy, dysfunctional relationship for the sake of being chosen. Do you see my point here? Women are meant to be choosers, while men are meant to be chosen. Meaning, you hold the power to choose the father of your kids for the next generation. So choose wisely. In case you didn't know, here's the thing about generational curse. All of our ancestors in the past were not aware why they kept attracting or choosing the wrong partners who abused them, and the cycle repeats, passing down their inherited traumas through family lines. Clearly, they did not have the privilege to access the resources that we have right now. Your grandparents or your parents might have been victims of this generational curse, but you get to decide if it ends with you. So tell me, would you still choose to live in the shadow of a man's validation? At the end of the day, you stop seeking external male validation when you start giving yourself internal self validation. I guess the biggest takeaway is to unlearn your pre existing beliefs and reprogram your mind against seeking validation from anyone, not just men. Because if you constantly thrive on approval, you will always be beneath them and be subjected to their control. And that's not what we want. I'm here to empower women to become their best self, so I really hope that you can reclaim your power as a woman. Trust me, it's already in you, and you are much stronger than you think you are. Thank you for watching, and bye!